So, who makes the best breakfast? Is it the English or is it the Irish? Well, today I'm going to find out because I'm going to be having both to see who's best. So let's start off first with the English breakfast. For the English breakfast, I decided to go to a place called Cafe North. It's located on the corner of Shudehill and New George Street with impressive looking floor-to-ceiling glass windows on the outside. It's got good reviews on Google and TripAdvisor and is known for great breakfast. So let's head in and check it out. It's pretty large on the inside with loads of seating in this open plan modern looking cafe. You even have booths in the middle if you fancy something a bit more comfy. You have fresh fruit and these delicious looking pastries and cakes on display at the counter that I almost was tempted to buy, especially the apple crumble one, but maybe next time. The menu is a decent size with quite a lot of options to choose from, including sandwiches to salads and omelettes and even an Oreo French toast that sounds amazing, which I have to come back for another time. But today I'm here for one thing only, the Big North breakfast. I also got a cup of tea because, well, you have to with a full English. There's no other drink you're allowed to get, and it was lovely, exactly what you need early in the morning. Now when the breakfast came out, it was one of the most delicious looking breakfasts I've ever seen. Every item on the plate looked great and cooked to perfection, including the toast and butter on the side. So with this breakfast, you get 2 fried eggs decorated with, I think, cress, with what looks like nice runny yolks, although I think one of them has burst itself already. 2 rashers of back bacon cooked exactly how I like them, crispy with a nice charring on it. 2 quite thin looking sausages, one of them bigger than the other, perhaps not the best looking sausages I've ever seen. Some fried mushrooms, a roasted tomato presented whole which I quite liked, a decent slice of black pudding under the tomato, a pot of baked beans with a tiny bit of cress in it, and not forgetting you get 2 slices of toast of your choice, brown or white, with butter on the side. Right, let's dig in. I'm going to start off here with the sausages and the smaller one first. It looks to be cooked nicely actually. I like the golden brown charring on it. Let's go in for a taste of this. The sausage was really nice. It actually had quite a lot of flavour in it. It was juicy and meaty on the inside and you could taste the nice fried charring flavour on the outside of it. Now for the bacon. These looked great. Again, you have a nice charring on the outside which means flavour. And these definitely tasted flavourful. It was salty, meaty and the right amount of crispy too. They do some good bacon here, so well worth getting. Next up, the egg and cress. Nice and runny in the middle and a little crispy on the bottom too, which I quite like. I don't think any place I've been to so far has gotten eggs wrong, and this place was no exception. Sometimes mushrooms can be a little bit watery, but not these. They were fried really well and you could taste a nice buttery flavour, which I assume came from the butter they were cooked in, so very tasty. Now the baked beans. I like the consistency of the sauce here, nice and thick, which is what I prefer. They had a rich tomato flavour and the beans were soft, so very good again. The black pudding, a little bit of a thinner slice than that some places I've been to, but still a good size, and I quite like the colour of this one, with the little bits of fat in it. Let's try this out. It was delicious. It had a cakey texture with a sort of meaty flavour. Very nice. Now I was looking forward to this, getting everything on one bite as all the items were great individually. But together it was on another level. One of the best breakfasts I've had so far, and even the toast was good too. What a great breakfast that was. Everything on there was delicious. So the total cost of that meal was £13. Let's move on next to the Irish breakfast. For the Irish breakfast, I decided to go to a place called the Koffee Pot, located on Oldham Street. Now I've actually been here before for an English breakfast, so I know this place is pretty good. But they also do loads of different kinds of breakfast, including Irish. So let's head on in. The inside of this place is pretty large with loads of seating. It has a bit of a rustic feel to it with the old vintage style furniture. They have nice little booths as well, which I ended up sitting at. The menu is pretty simple with not many options to choose from, but they all focus on breakfast and brunch dishes, as you can see. but the one I'm here for is the Irish breakfast, known as the Irish fry, on the menu. I also got the customary cup of tea that you have to get when eating breakfast, and it was lovely with a splash of milk in it, which I enjoyed. Now this was one hefty looking plate of food when it came out, with so many different items. Some I recognised, but some I didn't, which made me even more excited to try them out, and they all seemed to be cooked really nicely too. So with this breakfast you get a portion of fried mushrooms, which are cut in big pieces the way I like, a grilled tomato cut in half, a slice of white pudding, which I've never had before, so looking forward to trying, some black pudding, which we already know about, 2 rashers of bacon that again look to be cooked nicely, a sausage that looks to be cooked really well with some nice charring on the outside, a small slice of soda bread, which I've never had before, a fried egg that actually looks really good, and a big piece of potato cake under it, which again I've never had before, so this is going to be one breakfast that I'm definitely looking forward to trying, so let's do it. I'm going to start off here with the sausage. It's a pretty thick one with a good fried crust on the outside, so it should be nice and crispy. Let's try it out. It was pretty good. It had a bit of an onion flavour to it, so maybe it's one of the herbs in there, but a nice tasting sausage. Now this bacon looks like some proper thick cut stuff, so it should have a nice meaty bite to it. And it did. It was delicious. The texture was meaty, it was salty and fatty, and I like the charring flavour on it too, so a good bit of bacon. Next up, let's try out this white pudding. So it looks similar to the black pudding, but a bit smaller and whiter in colour. I wonder if it's made of similar things. Well, there's only one way to find out, so let's give it a try. It was actually pretty nice. It kind of tasted like stuffing. It was a similar meaty texture to the sausage, only a bit softer, and it definitely reminded me of a sage and onion stuffing flavour. So it was pretty good. I quite liked it. Now the black pudding. I can definitely say white pudding and black pudding are two different things, so I'm not sure why they're called what they are, but I like both of them. Let's try out the black pudding from here and see if it's any good. Again, the black pudding is good. It's a totally different taste and texture. It's more crumbly and cakey and not as meaty, but they're both good in their own way. I have to test out the egg yolk as with every egg I try, and it was perfect. Is it just me, or is an egg with a runny yolk just the best way to have it? And just watching the egg yolk run down the potato cake is just so satisfying to me. Next up, the potato cake. Now I was looking forward to this because I usually like hash browns, so I wanted to see how this would compare. So the potato cake comes in a big square slice and looks nicely fried from the colour of it. So let's give it a taste. The potato cake was really nice. It was quite dense and sweet, which I wasn't expecting, but very delicious. The soda bread was another item I was looking forward to trying. It was only a small piece, but had a good colour on it and smelled great too. And the taste didn't disappoint. I really enjoyed it. It was one of those foods where as soon as you eat it, your mouth just waters from the taste of it. It was only a small piece, but let me tell you, it was pretty dense, and that small piece was more than enough. So what is a combo bite of an Irish breakfast like? I don't know, so let's find out. It was a dense and hearty bite of food, very nice. There was just one bit of criticism I had though. I think it just needed something saucy in it, like baked beans in the full English, to add that bit of moisture, and that would have made it perfect. But nevertheless, it was a great meal. What a great Irish breakfast. It's the first time I've ever had one, and I enjoyed it. I like the extra items that you get, like the white pudding, the soda bread and potato cake. So the total cost of that meal was £14.50. So which was your favourite breakfast, the English or the Irish? Comment down below. I think for me it has to be the English breakfast. I think the beans add that sweet sauciness to the bite that creates a more rounded meal, but they were both great. Okay, if you like breakfast, click on the thumbs up icon below and click on subscribe to come along for the next food journey, and I'll see you in the next one.